I've fallen so head over heels in love with these characters. And I also, by the way, like I've now like read all the scripts for season two. We're halfway through the animatics, and it just gets deeper and deeper in subsequent seasons. We're also we're greenlit for through season three. So in a couple weeks, I'm going to hear his pitch for the third season of the show, and I'm like a fan. I cannot wait.
I think a lot of the figuring it out happened kind of in the work. I think it had to a little bit. What I definitely noticed right off the rip was how much time we spend with Peter versus Spider-Man. I very quickly realized that like what makes Peter Peter is his ability to like stay helpful and stay optimistic. And like luckily everyone was like really welcoming and like cool and made me feel at home and allowed like a safe space for me to kind of tap into that.
Hi, Brad. How you doing?
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Love
See you too.
your background here. It is extremely jealous.
We
to be
need the
honest
4
with you.
minutes just to go
Yeah.
through to see the whole room, I
Thing,
think.
Yeah.
Every time I do one of these things, I quickly scan for spoilers.
Makes
We've been
sense.
taking many screenshots already, don't we? But we got to start off by asking, first of all, the show is phenomenal. We had so much fun with it. We got to see all 10 episodes, and now the wait to season 2 is the most excruciating part of it all, really.
Tell me about it. I mean, I've fallen so head over heels in love with these characters. And I also, by the way, like I've now like read all the scripts for season two. We're halfway through the animatics. Like it is what, Jeff is building brick by brick in this show starts to pay off. And you feel it in season one. You grow connected to these characters so that when everything starts to lock into place and pay off by the end of the season, I don't know about you guys, but like I feel it really in my soul.
Yeah.
And it just gets deeper and deeper in subsequent seasons. We're also we're greenlit for through season three. So in a couple weeks, I'm going to hear his pitch for the third season of the show, and I'm like a fan. I cannot wait.
We'll slide you our email
Yeah,
in,
we're not
in the
busy that
DM,
day, so we'll
you
definitely
could,
join in. Not
if
a
you need
problem.
help reading those scripts, we got you.
Yeah, you can pitch to us too. But there's this really wonderful sequence in one of the episodes, and that I think to us was one of the most painful experiences watching it was the struggle of how to use a VCR. And just curious, does that come from like a personal experience? Like when you guys were kind of getting that all together, what was that like?
Oh man, we just were thinking about what would be fun to have in Aunt May's house, and there's so much weight around like he finds a Blu-ray player in the dumpster. That's like the biggest prize to him. That maybe really what she's got there is a bunch of old VHS tapes in it.
Yeah.
And of course, Predators will be land on too.
Yeah, so good. It's so good. Spider-Man wouldn't be who they are today without Steve Ditko. So we'd love to know for you, what was it for for you, the Marvel animation team, about honoring that legacy and using that style in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
Well, Jeff is he's really an incredible storyteller, and he really he weaves that tapestry so intricately, and everything's so thought out. And I don't know if you guys saw a show before this one, Craig of the Creek, but it's slightly different tone, but it's similar in how invested you get in those characters over time and how intricate that world becomes. When the conversation led us to he's back in high school, it's freshman year. We started really going back at those key comic book arcs where he was a freshman in high school, and right out of the gate, I mean, Ditko is the quintessential Peter Parker in high school, struggling socially, struggling economically. So that became the visual touchstone as well.
We love that. And, we were so lucky last year to introduce X-Men 97 at Toronto Comic-Con, and that was one of the highlights for us in our professional careers, how much we love that show and how much we love Daredevil, and seeing what Marvel Television and Marvel Animation is doing is so exciting. So we just, first of all, want to thank you for all the incredible shows and all the incredible work that you've been able to do. And we truly cannot wait to see where you're going to go with Daredevil Born Again and all these characters. It's truly amazing.
Thank you so much for saying that. I am like so completely blessed to have grown up at Marvel. I mean, I really was like a kid when I started. And I still think of myself as a fan, and it's it's one thing I remember, about that I always think about is going into the comic book store and having like being able to pick up any comic I wanted, and they could be different styles, different tones, different artists, um, comedic, dramatic, tragic. It was like lots of options, lots of variety, and that was always comics to me. That's always been Marvel to me. So, being able to, you know, go from Agatha to Daredevil or X-Men 97 to Spider-Man, it's we're getting to a place where I think we can give people that same kind of variety, that same kind of feeling.
Definitely. We're so lucky.
Absolutely, Brad. Again, thank you, Brad, so much for your time. We love the show. We love all the amazing Easter eggs that kind of came out, and we loved getting to hear Charlie Cox's voice back as Daredevil. And we're so excited to see what he gets to do next, like we were saying. Thank you for your time today.
I can't wait for you guys to see Born Again. Cannot.
Oh, God, you're spoiling us.
Again, we'll drop the email. Just send us some episodes.
Season 3 notes.
We got you. We'll give you some notes, whatever you need, Brad.
All right. Good to know. Good to know.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks, Al.
Hudson, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
We are doing so well. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. We are absolutely in love with this show. And as two people who grew up watching every single Spider-Man, everything, it's everything we could have hoped for and more. So just congratulations to you and the team right out the gate.
Man, thank you so much. I'm genuinely so stoked you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, and we know with great power comes great responsibility. So we'd love to know for you, what has the responsibility been like of being Peter Parker and bringing him into this world?
Yeah, big. I feel like I right off the bat like put such pressure on myself with it all, and it was like I felt so grateful, but also like a bit like it was a bit daunting. And I very quickly realized that like what makes Peter is his ability to like stay hopeful and stay optimistic, and like luckily everyone was like really welcoming and like cool and made me feel at home and allowed like a safe space for me to kind of tap into that.
We've been also so lucky to see so many different versions of Spider-Man over the years. So for yourself, which Spidey made you fall in love with that character?
It's the Tobey Maguire ones for me. That's just because of my age. Like the nostalgia for those ones, like those are the ones I waited in line for. Went with my parents. Like those are the ones I remember like really being the initial Spider-Man for me.
Absolutely. And we got to know, the next question here has got to be, how did you pop off when you saw him at No Way Home?
Oh, dude, that was crazy. I mean, I actually love. It's funny because everyone's like, "What's your favorite Spider-Man?" I'm like, I mean, probably Spider-Man 2 if I had to just pick one. But No Way Home, I feel like, is like my favorite Spider-Man movie. It doesn't have the same like emotional connection because, of my age, but like really good.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
And it's so crazy that we're at this point now that we could have Spider-Man finally teaming up with so many different people. Like you see in No Way Home, we have 2 other Spideys joining him. We have Matt Murdock showing up. We have all these other characters. Is there a dream character that you'd love to see this version, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man version of Peter Parker get to hang out with?
I think, Doctor Strange is my other favorite Avenger, which like luckily that itch gets scratched pretty soon and in the series, and that was awesome to see. I think Iron Man would be cool to come into the fold. I think fans because if he's not the mentor in this series, what is he? Venom would be cool for me to see. I think that's the other thing about all this is like this is the first project I've ever worked on where I'm just genuinely a fan of it already. So it's like I feel like I'm just getting to watch stuff too after.
Yeah, and we're curious, what was that first conversation about what the show is going to be like? Because we're seeing Peter at such a younger age, kind of really going into this world. You were there from the beginning. What was that conversation like of where this show is going to go and separate itself from everything else we've seen before?
I think a lot of the figuring it out happened kind of in the work. I think it had to a little bit. But, what I definitely noticed right off the rip was how much time we spend with Peter versus Spider-Man in this series. And I think what maybe makes this one different is we're learning a bit more about Peter Parker, an emphasis on that versus Spider-Man. And just that it feels, I don't know, modern. I guess, modern and kind of fresh, or it did to me.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Hudson, we're so grateful for your time. And again, we absolutely love your portrayal of Peter Parker and Spider-Man in this series. The show is so damn good. We've got the chance to see all the 10 episodes, and we're just upset. We're just upset that we're not at season 2 already.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to hopefully talk to you, because the wait is going to be so excruciating. We can't wait to talk to you next time, hopefully for season 2.
Oh man, well, I'm so glad you guys liked it, and thank you so much.